Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the FIAP Distinctions presentations for Australia. Today, we formally acknowledge the Australians who have gained their FIAP distinctions in 2025. This is the 6th year that we have held this presentation event online in what has proven to be a very successful format, which enables us to gather from all parts of Australia and to be able to invite a FIAP official to join us from overseas to formally present our FIAP distinctions. This year, we had 30 Australian FIAP distinction recipients. Whilst there are a number of distinction recipients who sadly can't join us today due to travel and other commitments, it is wonderful to have a large number of you here. Upon the formation of the Australian Photographic Society 63 years ago, the role of Australia's operational member of FIAP was passed to the APS by the Photographic Society of Queensland, who performed this role in the years prior to our national body being formed. Indeed, Australia has had an organisation act as an operational member of FIAP since FIAP's early years. This affiliation means APS members are deemed to be individual members of FIAP. One of the APS tasks as part of our operational member status is the verification, initial administration and lodgement of Australian applications for FIAP distinctions. Australia has a large active group of photographers who enter international salons, and Australians are usually well represented in the awards lists of these salons. This ultimately leads to days like today, where we celebrate the Australian recipients of FIAP distinctions. As mentioned, the use of technology offered by Zoom has enabled us to have a FIAP board member be our official presenter at this event for the last 5 years. This year, it is a huge pleasure to have Luis Franke from Argentina join us as our special guest. Luis is a member of the FIAP board and he's also the director of the FIAP Biennials Service. We are also joined by the following members of the APS Management Committee: the APS President, Pierre Jessen, who is handling the technical aspects of tonight's Zoom meeting, Senior Vice President Paul Balfe, and General Committee members Jackie Lee and Sally Cuthbert. I would also like to acknowledge our verifying officer team, some of whom are present here with us today. With the lower number of applicants this year, we've been able to invite all the VOs who have verified applications this year. I wish to publicly thank all the VO team for their invaluable assistance to the applicants and myself. I'm aware that in many instances this involves some mentoring and those planning to apply for FIAP distinctions. I'll introduce you to our special guest, Luis Franke, to you properly in a minute, but I would first invite the President of the Australian Photographic Society, Pierre Jessen, to formally welcome you. Pierre, if you'd like to unmute yourself, the microphone is yours.
Thank you very much, Bronwyn. Getting myself a little bit organised here. Well, welcome to all APS members and Luis, of course. Thank you very much, Bronwyn. I just wanted to say a big congratulations to all of the APS members who have achieved their FIAP distinctions for 2025. This recognition reflects your exceptional dedication, artistic vision, and consistent success in international salons under the patronage of FIAP. Earning a FIAP distinction, whether it's AFIAP, EFIAP or higher, demonstrates not only technical excellence, but also a commitment to promoting photographic art on a global stage. Your accomplishments bring honour to both yourselves and the APS community, inspiring others to pursue creative excellence and international recognition. I want to thank Bronwyn Casey for all of the work that you do, Bronwyn. Your experience and your amazing work is invaluable and it's highly appreciated. I'd also like to thank all of the verifying officers. Again, invaluable work, and thank you very much. And now I'll hand over back to you, Bronwyn.
Thank you, Pierre. Now I would like to give an especially warm welcome to Luis Franke. As mentioned earlier, Luis is a member of the FIAP Board and is also Director of the FIAP Biennials Service. Luis is joining us from Argentina. His name will likely be known to those of you who have entered salons for a number of years, as he has featured strongly in the awards for salons for a long period of time. Luis has been a member of Grupo Fotográfico Parque in Buenos Aires, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, Luis, since mid-2002. This club is affiliated with the Argentine Federation of Photography, which is the FIAP operational member for Argentina. He's also been a PSA member in the past as well. Since 1988, Luis has travelled extensively through southern Patagonia in Argentina and has photographed various rural settlements in the province of Santa Cruz. His photographs depict the natural landscapes and people, especially the rural life in the vast southern estancias. Luis is one of those people that dons a backpack and hikes into the most wonderful landscapes to be in a location at those magical early and late hours of the day. He has participated in national and international salons since joining his club. Between 2003 and 2014, he earned 22 first-place finishes in the annual rankings compiled by the Argentine Federation of Photography in various sections, including the overall ranking in 6 of those years. As at the time of writing his bio on his website, he had achieved over 16,000 acceptances and 3,000 awards in more than 60 countries. In 2010, FIAP introduced the Blue Pin Award for salons to bestow on the entrant in a salon who gains the highest number of acceptances. The Blue Pin Awards are tallied by FIAP each year, with an award of the best author going to the person each year with the most blue pins. Luis was the second person to achieve this award and won it in 2 consecutive years in 2012 and 2013. Luis has been included annually in the top worldwide exhibitors list of the Who's Who in Photography, which is compiled by the Photographic Society of America, where he has been a particularly strong participant in the travel section of international competitions. Between the years 2006 and 2013, he ranked in the top 4 in the PSA worldwide Who's Who ranking in the travel projected and/or print sections, with 5 of those ranking him at number 1. He also picked up a few top 4 rankings in Nature, photojournalism, and monochrome small prints. Luis holds the highest FIAP distinction currently possible via exhibition achievements, that being the FIAP Diamond 3, which he gained in 2019. He has achieved the PSA Grandmaster Bronze, and in 2014, the Argentine Federation distinguished him as a master of their organisation, which is referred to as the MFAF. In 2014, Luis also achieved his Master Photographer of FIAP, the MFIAP. His MFIAP portfolio, titled Between Shearing Mates and Meeting, is an insightful set of environmental portraits, each photo of which gives a glimpse into the person and the lifestyle they lead. These photos can be seen in the MFIAP web pages on the FIAP website. There is also a selection of his works in the Best of the Best section from when he won his Best of the Best awards. And those pages they've also got pages on the FIAP website. There is also a selection of his works that he achieved his Best of the Best with, and you'll see multiple spectacular Patagonian landscapes among those, along with his environmental portraits. Luis's website, which can be easily found via a web search of his name, is well worth visiting. There is also a book, Frames of an Oasis and a Desert, that he co-authored. This contains 250 photos of the Lake Cardiel area in southern Patagonia in Argentina. He has held personal exhibitions in 7 countries and been part of group exhibitions organised by the Parquet Photographic Group. Luis works professionally as an electronics technician and industrial engineer, but in addition to his work and his travel and photography activities, he has contributed back to photography strongly. He became the FIAP Liaison Officer for Argentina in 2014, and in 2017 he became a member of the FIAP Directory Board. In 2018 he was appointed to the Director of the Biennials Service. Became the Director of the Biennials Service. He continues to serve in all 3 of these roles to this day, along with regularly judging national and international salons. Many of you will have had photos judged by him at some point in time, possibly in our fairly recent Outback Salon in Australia last year. It is no wonder that Luis was awarded the Excellence FIAP for Services Rendered, the ESFIAP, in 2016 and has subsequently had the Honorary Excellence FIAP distinction conferred on him for his service. I know Luis to be a quiet, gently spoken person who is highly dedicated and highly reliable. When it comes to having material about FIAP biennials in FIAP News, Luis is a regular and diligent contributor, which is extremely helpful to me in my role. I know that he has spent time this week preparing for our event, which has included translating his presentation about the biennials into English from his native language, which is Spanish. Like the official roles in APS, the roles in FIAP are undertaken in a voluntary capacity, and roles such as the one Luis does are busy ones. It is important to recognise that many people like Luis also have full-time employment, so it is a big commitment to also do these FIAP tasks. It's wonderful that Luis has been able to join us here today to personally present this year's Australian FIAP distinctions. His presence makes these presentations extra special. Thank you for joining us today, Luis, and I now invite you to give your greeting. Luis, you will need to unmute yourself.
Many thanks, Bronan, for your introducing. Very nice for you. Good evening, APS President Pia Jessen, APS Senior Vice President Paul Wolf, committee members, Bronan Casey, dear guests and friends of photography. It's a great honor to welcome you to this ceremony, which not only recognizes individual achievements, but also celebrates arts of photography as a universal form of expression. Today, we pay tribute to Australian photographers who, through their talent, dedication, and artistic sensitivity, have achieved distinction awarded by the International Federation of Photographic Art. Each image they produce has the power to move us, to tell us stories without words. And tonight, that unique vision is recognized by FIAP with certificates that go beyond technical merit. They are a testament to a journey, a pursuit, and a personal vision shaped by effort. To the distinguished photographers, my warmest congratulations. To everyone joining us, my deepest gratitude. This is a night to celebrate photography. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Now, I'm going to just run through just a few basic outline of how things are going to run this evening. Please, if you have a camera and you're going to have your image on screen, please remember to turn that on and make sure you've got good light on your face for when we do the group photo. We have muted everybody. Please remain on mute during the presentations until your name is announced. The mute and unmute button is in the bottom left corner of the screen. Please mute yourself again after your presentation, after you've had your distinction presented to you. For the best experience, you should now be seeing your screen with 2 people side by side. That's being controlled by Pia. We are recording this event, and we will be taking screenshots, both probably from the event itself and indeed afterwards from the video, which you indeed will be able to do yourselves when you may like to take photos of your own presentation. The presentations will be grouped according to the distinction level. There will be slideshows of the images that were presented to FIAP when you sent in your distinctions application. After each slideshow, Luis will be announcing the names of the distinction recipients who are here today. This will be done one person at a time. When he announces your name, please respond verbally, making sure that you have unmuted yourself before you say hello. We will be endeavouring to spotlight you on screen, but there may be a short delay whilst Pia finds you in the group to do that. So if it takes a second or two, just bear with us. If you want to mute yourself again, obviously it's the same button down in that bottom corner. Please make sure you've got your certificate beside yourself. You can hold that up when you're being presented, but most importantly, we want you to hold that when we do the group photo at the end. I will be announcing the names of the people who aren't here. There will be times when you can hear me but not see me, as I will be off screen in the background at different points in time. So please don't alter your settings if you can hear me but not see me. At each distinction level throughout the presentations, the distinctions who are present will be announced in alphabetical order according to surname. At the end of the presentations, we will take, as I say, a few screenshots of the whole group, as close as we can get to a group certificate, a group photo of everyone with their certificates. Following the presentations, Luis will be giving a short talk about the FIAP Biennials. And having seen a glimpse of that earlier today, I can highly recommend watching that because it gives you a real insight into exactly what is meant by coherence, especially, which is a very unique aspect of the biennials. So we will progress. Let me just get rid of that piece of paper. We will now progress on to the presentations themselves. In order to honour eminent personalities in the field of photography, the International Federation of Photographic Art, known as FIAP, award distinctions for photographic artists known for their artistic work in photographic or audiovisual artistry, and for those who by their achievements their work or achievements have contributed to the progress of FIAP. In other words, their services rendered. Only achievements in international salons run under FIAP patronage can be counted for FIAP photographic artist distinctions. National federations affiliated with FIAP, such as the Australian Photographic Society, can put forward candidates for these distinctions. The final decision whether or not to award a distinction rests with FIAP. This year, the Australian Photographic Society had 30 successful applications for FIAP distinctions for photographic artistry. Today, we acknowledge and celebrate their achievement. The Distinction Artist FIAP, the AFIAP, is the first artistic distinction that can be obtained. A successful candidate must have obtained at least 40 acceptances with 15 different images in 15 salons in 8 different countries. We will now see the photos submitted to FIAP by our AFIAP recipients. If we can spotlight Luis, and Luis, if you'd like to present our AFIAP recipients, please. So we're missing the first person on the list, Luis. Chuben Chu is
Yes.
here.
Yes. The first awarded is now Sally Cuthbert. Congratulations, Sally.
Thank you.
So people are welcome to say a few words if they wish to. Don't make it super long, but you're welcome to interact and say hello. And the next person.
Congratulations. The next one, Anne-Marie Finn.
Thank you. Thank you to Bronwyn and to Brian Cohen, who is my verifying officer. Thanks also to FIAP and APS, and congratulations to everybody else. Thank you.
Congratulations. Dee Kelly.
Thank you very much, Luis. And can I also please just say thank you to a couple of people. Julie Begg for getting me started on this journey. I can't believe it happened actually. Philippa Alexander, who kept me going when I really wanted to give up on it. Brian Cohen, my verifying officer, Patience of a Saint, and Bronwyn for your guidance at the very end. I just can't believe I finally made it, but thank you so much. Thank you, FIAP, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we've got a number of AFIAP people who couldn't be with us. We were expecting Shuben Chu, but he hasn't arrived, so obviously something's prevented him being here. We've also had Kenneth Opskin, Leanne Robson, Tanja Myers, David Richards, and Yu Wu. So we'll move on now to the EFIAP recipients. The distinction EFIAP is awarded to photographic artists who, apart from having excellent techniques and significant number of their works often accepted in many international salons under FIAP patronage. A successful candidate must have also obtained 250 acceptances with at least 50 different images in 30 salons in 20 different countries. At least 2 of their photos must have gained an award. We'll now see the photos that were submitted to FIAP by our EFIAP recipients. deviate one moment here because we have had just a late arrival. Chu Ben Chu has just arrived. I've just admitted him into the meeting. Pia, can you find him? And perhaps Luis, if you'd like to just quickly divert back to our very first AFIAP recipient. You found him there, Pia?
Is here?
Yes, he's arrived during that slideshow.
Could you ask him to turn on his camera?
Chu Ben Chu, can you turn your camera on and your microphone on, please? You found him, Pia?
No.
Chu, are you here? Can you turn your microphone on and say hello if you're here? Maybe we've lost him.
No, he's here. I can see him on the list, and I've just requested that they unmute and turn on their video, however.
Okay, look, let's proceed with the FIAP people, and if we manage to get him at the end, we'll circle back.
Oh, here. No.
Okay, Luis, we'll go ahead with the FIAP people.
Okay. I want to present Paul Valve. Congratulations, Paul.
Luis, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us tonight from beautiful Argentina. I've had the good fortune to visit a couple of times, and I certainly hope to come back to your beautiful country, so welcome. I'd also like to thank Bronwyn Casey. I think when thinking about putting forward your photographs and compiling them for an entry like the FIAP Award, the paperwork can be a little overwhelming when you first start the journey. And Bronwyn, through her careful, systematic, methodical guidance, has made my journey so much easier and given me the confidence that, yes, I am understanding the rules and how they work and what I need to do. And for that, Bronwyn, thank you very, very much. And finally, my verifying officer, Tina Dial. I owe a huge debt to Tina for the guidance through many aspects of my photography, and certainly her help in assisting me to navigate through the hoops to get to my FIAP is hugely appreciated. So thank you, Tina.
Thank you, Paul. Next one is David Mercica.
Hi, Luis. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you very much for joining tonight and taking the time. It's been a great journey for me so far, and I've got a long way to go still. But thanks also to Bronwyn and also to Tina Dial, who was my VO as well. And like Paul said, it's quite a complicated administrative task when you first get started. So, and I think now jumping into the FIAP levels will be equally a challenge. But thanks very much, and appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next, Michael Moore. Congratulations.
Thank you, Luis. Very much appreciated. And I'd like to thank Peter Calder, who is my verifying officer, and also Bronwyn, who provided some words of advice at needed times for me, and very much enjoyed the journey so far. Looking forward to the rest of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Kate O'Brien, congratulations to you.
Keith, you're on mute.
I'm unmuted now. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, and I'd also like to thank Bronwyn for the fantastic work she does. And I know I gave her a little bit of a hard time getting mine in on time because a few things were happening in my life at the same time as hers. So her work and dedication is exceptional, and you know, it does take a bit of effort, and I suppose, like many here, we've thanked our photographic friends, but I think our families and friends who put up with us working on spreadsheets and getting applications in and submitting images also need a thanks when we get to this level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate. Congratulations. Now, Peter Ropas. Congratulations, Peter.
Very much, Lewis. I'd like to thank my verification officer, John Chapman, who's did my FIAP and also my earlier one, and also a very big thank you to Bronwyn for all the work she does for all of us in getting our applications in order and submitting all the applications and everything else in between. So thank you to John and thank you to Bronwyn.
Thank you. And I now presented Karen Springstop. Congratulations, Karen.
Thank you very much. First, I'd like to say how amazed I was by the slideshow just then with all the people that are here today. Wow, I was blown away. Thank you very much, Bronwyn, and thank you also my verifying officer, Martin Regan. Your help's been fantastic. And I also wanted to do a shout out to my friend Phil Stevens, who's in the same photo club as I am. We quite often chat together and encourage each other, and I've really felt quite privileged to collaborate with him on what entry, you know, what competition are you going in. It's been a great journey together. So thanks and congratulations to everybody else. Oh, here's my certificate.
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, we had quite a good number of our FIAP people with us. The people who were absent were Greg McMillan, Leslie Patterson, and Andrew Raguse. Did we manage to find our FIAP person pair before we go on?
No.
Okay. Rightio. So for the EFIAP levels, the EFIAP levels honour photographic artists who, after having received the EFIAP distinction, continue to actively participate in international salons under FIAP patronage, and by doing so, help to promote photography with their new artistic production. FIAP has instituted 7 additional EFIAP levels. This year, we didn't have any gold or platinum level applicants, just one of the quirks of this particular year, but we did have 4 people receive their bronze level and 6 people receive their silver level. Let's see the photos submitted by our EFIAP bronze and silver applicants. the EFIAP, the EFIAP levels recipients have obtained the following achievements. For the bronze level, 200 acceptances, 50 photos in 5 countries is required. These must include 4 images with awards in different countries. Luis, if you'd like to announce our bronze recipients, please.
Yes. The first bronze recipient is Grace Lee. Michael.
Wrong one. You're wrong list there, Pear. One up.
Are you talking about Grace Lee?
Yes.
Is there a Grace Lee here? I don't believe there is.
Grace was one of the ones that hadn't arrived when we started. Grace, are you in the room? If so, can you unmute yourself?
The only person available, the next person available is Michael that I just had on screen.
Philip Stevens.
He's not here either.
Yes, he is.
Oh, where is he?
Talking now.
Have you got your video on?
Yeah,
There you go. Now you're on. You weren't on before, so now you are. Where are you now? Yeah, here we go.
Oh, been here. Yep.
Oh, we got him.
Philip Stevens. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for coming, giving your time tonight and presenting to us. It's greatly appreciated. My colleague Karen mentioned the shared journey of the honours system, which makes a difference when you've got a buddy to work through. So thank you to Karen, but also to Martin Regan, my VO, who I've known for many, many years. And also a big thank you to Bronwyn, of course, who does an amazing job all the time, but particularly this year, she went way out of her way to chase up some acceptances that were with images, were issues with time problems and whatever. So thank you very much, Bronwyn. That was much appreciated. So it's an enjoyable journey, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
And there were, other than Grace Lee, who has not been able to join us, there was also David Henderson and Jeffrey Huey, who got their EFIAP bronze. Now for the silver level, they required 300 acceptances with 100 works in 10 countries. That must include at least 5 photos with awards in different countries. Luis, we'll go for our silver, and we've now got Michael back on screen again.
Our first silver is Michael Ioannou. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Luis. Thank you for all your support through FIAP, and big thank you to Bronwyn as well for your dedication, your hard work, and your guidance as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next one is Chu Yu Chu. Congratulations. You are mute.
We can't hear you there.
I don't think he doesn't have sound.
He's turned his mute off, but we can't hear you for some reason. Did you make sure your microphone was connected to Zoom?
You hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Luis. And also, I would like to thank my verified officer, John Chapman, and especially I thank Brian for the last-minute help for that water photos when I was traveling overseas. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we have David and Jane Woodcock. They are in the same frame for me now.
That's right. Okay. All right. Well, look, the usual thanks to our verifying officer, John Chapman and Bronwyn. Also, I'd like to point out that we have 3 members from our very small country club here receiving awards at the same time. And I'd also like to have a big shout out to those with the AFIAP and EFIAP, and I must say I really love their images. And yours, Louise. I've been looking at your shearers. I really love those. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, and we had a couple of people unable to attend. That was Wade Buchan and Martin Newland. We're now going to move on to our diamond levels. The 3 diamond levels have only been offered since 2016, and they are for achievements gained since the EFIAP Platinum level was awarded. Only awards are counted. There were no Diamond 3 recipients this year in Australia. However, we did have a Diamond 1 and a Diamond 2 recipient. Let's see the photos submitted by our Diamond recipients. So for the EFIAP Diamond 1 level, 50 awards with 15 images must have been achieved in at least 5 countries. Luis, if you'd like to announce our Diamond 1 recipient, please.
Yes, Wally Cannon, congratulations of your Diamond 1 level.
Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for being here tonight. Special thank you to Bronwyn for all the work you do. And also want to give a shout out to my verifying officer, Anne Smallaghan. She's been doing my stuff for a number of years now. So thank you very much, Anne. And congratulations to everyone that's also here tonight.
Thank you.
And for the Diamond Level 2, 100 awards with 30 images achieved in at least 7 countries is the requirement. And I'm hoping that our EFIAP Diamond 2 person has arrived. Pia, is she in the room? Okay.
Unfortunately not. I've sent her a couple of prompts, but nothing.
Okay, unfortunately. So Kerry Boytel, as you've seen in the slideshow, was the recipient of our EFIAP Diamond 2 level. I actually tried to phone her a couple of times in the last 24 hours, so obviously something's cropped up to prevent her being here because normally she's a keen participant. And that brings us to the last of our actual presentations. So I'm going to ask us all to go back to gallery view now. And if you can all make sure you've now got good light on your cameras, on your faces, sorry, that you've got good light on your faces for the camera, and get your certificate all lined up, and we'll get some group photos of everybody. And we need to set us back to gallery view there, Per, if you could please.
Yeah, it's on gallery view.
it's just Meg. I can only see Luis.
So if you don't have your
Yeah, me too.
certificate, you can just hold up a piece of paper. He'll, blur it out. There you go.
Okay, now I've got
Peter,
it.
do you have yours? And Martin? No, Martin, you're verifying, yeah.
Okay, everyone got
Philip,
their...
do you have yours? Great.
It's tricky when you've got an artificial background on. It wants to focus on both your certificate
Exactly. And huge smiles, everybody. Okay, I think that worked out pretty well.
I'll grab a couple as well. You
Look
ready?
at those good-looking people.
There we go. I lost Anne-Marie there for a second. Ready, set,
go.
Okay. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And you got a couple. We'll do some more from the video afterwards as well to make sure that we've got this.
Brian.
Okay. This
Brian,
brings us...
And actually, I didn't receive the certificate.
Yours hasn't arrived yet?
No, I haven't received yet.
Okay, let's follow that up. I'll follow that up with you after the meeting, okay?
Thank you very much.
I know that most of them have only arrived in the last week or so, which probably means that yours has just been delayed in the post. So I wouldn't be panicking about it just yet, but we'll make sure you get one. Okay, this actually brings us to the second part of our event. But firstly, congratulations to all this year's recipients of FIAP Distinctions. The full list of the FIAP Distinctions recipients for the year is on the honours roll on the APS website. It's in the APS honours section. That's where the two honours rolls are. But now we've taken our group shot, and now we will head on into our second part. And I would like to give the floor back to Luis, who is going to talk to us about the FIAP Biennials. And I'm hoping that you all become keen participants in the FIAP Biennials, because we need our strongest exhibitors involved in this. And that's the people we're looking at here in the room, amongst others. And welcome to David Norris. So just for those of you who don't know, Paul Balfe, who is our Senior Vice President, is going to be the coordinator for the Nature Biennial that's coming up. And David Norris, who has joined the meeting specifically to hear Luis. Give us a wave, David. So there we go.
Nice to see you all. Congratulations, everyone.
So David will be coordinating.
What was that, David?
I said it's nice to see everyone, and congratulations to everyone.
Okay.
So, Luis, you'll possibly remember David, because David was involved in running one of the exhibitions that you judged.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So David will be coordinating the monochrome biennial entry for Australia, which is next year, but I would anticipate that the entry will be due towards the end of this year. So keep your ears tuned for that. But the floor is yours now, Luis, and he's got a great presentation for us.
Thank you. I will share my screen now. It's okay for you?
Yeah, all good.
You are all muted. Okay.
All good.
Okay. I will talk about the FIAP Biennials. First, I will talk about a brief introduction, how are they managed. The FIAP Biennials are organized in any FIAP member countries, and only operation members of FIAP may participate. We have 4 biennials in the even years, black and white, with 1 section, only prints, and the Nature Biennial with 2 sections, prints and digital images. And the odd years, the Color Biennials with 2 sections again, prints and digital, and the Youth Biennial with 2 digital sections. Youth Biennial is different for the others, so we will talk especially for the black and white, nature and color, because these biennials need to be presented in a special way because the countries must present it collections, and this collection must be consistent in terms of inspiration and conception, as well as in terms of presentation. All federations will select for itself the works they want to present and also choose the topic or theme and how to present their works. In the print section, the collection are of 10 works with a maximum of 1 work per author. And in the digital sections, the collection are of 20 works and with a maximum of 2 works by the same author. The judging process is different as in the other normal salons. The jury panel is composed of 3 people, and the process consists in 2 stages. The first stage is like any other salon, in which work of the collection is presented one by one and judged for its own value. And the images from all collection are mixed. Each member of the jury will score each work from 1 to 5 points. And the second stage is judging the collection. In this part, the collection is presented as a whole and judged globally for its coherence. It doesn't matter the quality of the single image. The judge only just the coherence. Each member of the jury will score each collection from 1 to 20 points. And the final results will be the classification of the biennial result from the sum of the 2 stages. And the awards per federations will be the World Cup for the first place, and then 3 medals, the gold, silver, and bronze, and up to the 10th position, honorable mention. And the authors of the winning federation will receive also an honorable mention. We have also awards for the individual works. It doesn't matter of which collection they belongs. And we have 6 FIAP medals, 1 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze. And also the organizer gives some other prizes like medals or honorable mentions. Now, the most important thing in biennial is to have a good collection with a good coherence. The coherence we can see in two ways. One, the idea, we must see the theme. So the topic must be very clear to the observer or the judges. And the relationship, because each individual photograph and the chosen 10 must be good. And then the coherence is also about the presentation, the format of the images, portrait, landscape, square, also the size and the technique. They can be all traditional, creative, black and white or color, the same contrast, tonality, etc. And also the presentation, for example, type of support, if any, for example, for print section, the same paper, etc. Or use the border frames and other things that colors of the borders, they must be in the same way. I will show some examples. These examples are based on collections submitted in previous FIAP biennials, and I made some modifications in a didactic way to better illustrate the concept of coherence. This is our first example. If you see this collection, we cannot really see what is the theme they choose, because we see different kind of situations, most of them with people, but also we see, for example, here a building. There are also pictures inside, outside, portraits. It's not a good coherence. Also, the presentation, we see that they are in the different landscape pictures, or also vertical pictures. So it's a poor coherence here. This collection is also not so good in coherence. We can discover perhaps that the main theme are children, but perhaps it's not so clear, because we can see a child here in these pictures. Here is a bicycle, very small. We can suppose there is a child there. And there are also different situations, outside, inside, like a studio portrait. Also the presentation with landscape and portrait pictures is not so good. This is another collection. If we see this collection, we can discover perhaps that the main theme is something about nature, but it's not so clear, because we have different landscapes, also birds, butterflies like this, also in vertical or landscapes positions. So we can discover there is a nature theme, but it's not so good to discover what kind of things they want to show. This is another collection where we cannot discover very clear what is the meaning, but perhaps the only thing we can say is the different bright colors, but nothing more. This one is better, because we can immediately discover they are all portraits, but the coherence also is not so good, because we have different kind of portraits. Like this one is studio portraits, outside portraits, very different sizes of the pictures, square. This picture also have a frame, a white frame, so the presentation is not so good. This collection, we can also discover that it's something relating with trees or wood, but the picture of different techniques. They are more creative, more standard pictures as landscapes, also details of wood. So the theme is basically clear, but it's not a good coherence here. This collection has a very clear theme, because we see that they are all fissures, but it failed in the presentation. This is another good collection. Well, the presentation is very, very good. We discovered that all people working, but perhaps this picture does not belong so good in this collection, because the others are environment portraits, and this is a picture that is outside. if we replace this picture with another one, perhaps we can get more points in these collections. This is another collection with very coherent in the theme, but it failed also in the size of the pictures. This one also very good team. We see all workers, very good the presentation. Perhaps the last one is not so good in the theme. Also this with fishers, because all the other are farmers. But we can think they are all workers. This one is a very good presentation of picture of with landscape with snow. And now we're watching very good collection. It's clear the theme with portraits. Also, the quality of the portraits are very, very good. Perhaps this portrait very close is not much so good with the other one. Perhaps replacing this one, we can get a better coherence. This one, they are all environment portraits, very coherent with only one person in each picture. This is a nature collection. It's clear that there are birds, and in all pictures are two birds fighting. Very strong the coherence. Here we have another strong coherence with a collection of all faces, people with all people faces. Another nature collection, very coherent, all birds fishing in different situations with water. This one also with night shooting. This one also is a very coherent collection. It was specially arranged as a workshop to produce this picture for a biennial. And now I will show you some examples how to improve coherence. We were talking about that, but here I have some examples. We will see very good collections here, like this, very, very good. But we can think about how to improve it. For example, all backgrounds are dark and the two last are very bright. If we can found two other pictures like this, the coherence is better. You see the difference. If you see the whole pictures, it's better in this way. Not always possible, but we can try to do it. The same with these sand landscapes. More of them are orange, but they are two in the blue color. If we find other two, the coherence will be better. This one, they are nice snow landscape with trees. but they fail in the size of the pictures. If we can arrange the sizes like this, so the coherence will be better. Another good collection with different landscapes. Most of them are landscape with ice or snow, but there are two like this. They are not ice or snow there. So it's better to try to find other two pictures so they are better for this collection. More landscape. We see landscape with water. The presentation is not so good. This one has a white border. If we put it out, it's better. Also, we see that all pictures, most of them are natural pictures, but here we have a construction or something made by the man. If we can replace this picture with other picture like nature landscape, it's better. And if we can make it in the same format, better. This one, the theme, all these are very good collection with the theme is very, very clear to see, but it failed also in the presentation of the size of the pictures. If they change the size of the pictures, it will be better. This is another good collection with this. We see that there are perhaps two pictures like this or like this that is not much so good with the other one. If we find some to replace them, better. And also if we can set the sizes in the same way, better. This is a good collection in this way, to lose not so much points. So we must be clear that the observer, in case of also the judges, must clearly recognize the theme of the collection. We must take care for each individual image should fit perfectly with the chosen theme, so they contribute to reinforcing it. And the presentation must be uniform in all its aspects. We must be careful in all these things, and we will get a better collection. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. That was great, and I know that our two coordinators especially will be really pleased to have seen that, because it's one of the coherence in particular is something that's a little bit harder to get your head around if you haven't been working with the biennials before, and it's a real balancing act, because like you say, you get a set of points for each individual photo, so they've got to stand on their own as being a strong photo, but then they've also got to stand within a set, and sometimes there is a balance to be sought to possibly not have one particular photo that might be an outstanding photo but doesn't fit the rest of the set, because you've got to pick up the points in both areas. And I think you were telling me that one of those sets scored the highest amount of coherence points but didn't score strongly when those individual images were judged, because the individual images on their own weren't such a strong exhibition quality image. So it's an interesting balancing act. I assume Paul and David, you've found that to be useful for you in terms of forging ahead with Australia's entry?
Oh, I certainly did. That was some really wonderful examples, Lewis, of the the coherence. I thought the way you substituted some of those was just really, really clever and really showed a lot of insight into what coherence really means. I'm really hoping that I can manage to pull that off this year for next biennial. So, I'll be really pushing a lot harder for our group to try and get closer to that coherence aspect of the competition. It really does. It really brings the collection to another level when that coherence is so much tighter.
Yes. My examples were with 10 pictures. It's not so easy with 20 pictures. But in that, as Brown with you must be look for a balance with the quality of an individual picture and the coherence. With 20 pictures, it's not so easy.
Yeah, I don't have that problem, so that's okay. Paul, I'm sure you have more to worry about than I will.
Yeah, look, thank you, Luis. That was a brilliant explanation and really, I think, boiled down to the simple visual narrative that we need to try to present in a coherent way. A couple of things that really stood out to me from what you've just presented. And the first was in the selection of a theme. The theme needs to be a strong visual theme, not an intellectual theme, if you like. So it's a bit like the old chestnut of presenting an image where there's a strong backstory that only the photographer knows and the viewer isn't aware of the backstory to the image and therefore can't identify it. They can only judge with what they see. And all of those wonderful coherent sets that you built up for us, they were visually coherent. It's about a strong visual theme, and we can sometimes, I think, get caught up with an intellectual idea of a connected group of photographs, and they may well be connected in a scientific way for a nature biennial, but they're all fungi. But if they're not visually connected fungi, then we lack coherence. And the other thing is just a simple mathematical observation that, and particularly, say, for the print section of a biennial with 10 images, where the potential image scores, if every image received top scores from all three judges, there would be 150 points. Of course, that won't happen. But there's 60 points on offer for coherence. So we cannot underestimate the importance of that coherence component, particularly in the print section.
Yes, this is why I said also with 20 pictures, it's not so easy to get a better coherence, but the individual pictures counts more than in a print section. So you must balance this thing. It's better to get the best collection in the print section, because with 10 pictures it's easier perhaps to get the good picture with good coherence to make the score higher.
Well, the members of our nature group can expect some very clear direction from me over the coming months. Thank you, Luis.
Thank you.
Louis, how many nations usually enter the biennial for the different sections?
Normally the entries is in the most is in the black and white biennial, about between 40 and 50 countries. In the color about 40, 45, and in nature 30, 35.
Well, I certainly look forward to getting the message out to our members here in Australia for the black and white component. So I'll be thinking very hard and probably get myself together on a bit of a meeting with a number of people to try and come up with a theme that will hopefully be able to bring our Australian photographers together and bring some success, I hope. That'd be good.
That would be absolutely awesome. I have put a link into the FIAP Biennials if you'd like to have a look. Anybody wants to have a look at past results of past biennials, that's in the chat.
Well, thanks, Per. That's great. I can see that. Yeah, excellent.
If you're hunting for it on your own, just go to the FIAP website and the little lines up the top which indicate the menu. If you click those, it'll open up and you can look for the biennials there too. But some of the winning sets and the individual winning images too, because as one of the things that we haven't talked about tonight is that if you are selected to participate, have your photo participate in the biennials, APS will recognise your selection in the APS honours system. And if your photo, I think it's a score of 8 or more, is that correct, Luis? If a photo gets a score of 8 or more, they can count it as an acceptance for FIAP distinctions. Does it stand?
Yes, 8, yes.
So when the biennial itself is judged, and you'll get an individual score, obviously, for your photo. And if that score is 8 or higher, it counts as a international acceptance under the country in which the biennial is hosted. And if you've got an award, a personal award for your photograph in the FIAP Biennial, that too can be counted within your FIAP distinctions applications. So participating won't cost you anything. In Australia, the APS look after the cost of the printing and indeed the postage of the prints. So your images will come in digitally and the coordinator will organise the selection and then the printing of the ones that are going to be sent as prints. So it doesn't actually cost you anything other than a little bit of your time to present photos. And as you've seen, the coherence is an incredibly important part of the biennial entry. So it's to get that coherence, we need a lot of photos to come in to be able to choose a set. Because if we only get 12 photos, say, submitted, and we need to put together 10, finding coherence is next to impossible because we haven't got the choices. So the more choices we've got, the better we can get that coherence. So
we're setting a project for the members, David.
I beg your pardon?
Or setting a project for the members like the Fork collection did.
Oh, yes.
Lewis showed. You can't do that, Paul. A bit trickier for you, but you never know. Maybe you have some grand ideas.
Might have to have a meeting with you, Pia. I think that might be a good idea. Yes, but I we'll definitely have to, put our thinking caps on for a theme for us. But I think you're right, Bronwyn. What you're saying is sometimes it can be, it is difficult to. It's not actually difficult to get images, but it is much more difficult to get the coherence because I think for the most part we've got a small group of people here in Australia that are eligible to submit, and so trying to get all involved can be a little bit hard at times. But having said that, I'll be working with you, Pia, and Stella at the APS to get that message out, so that we can, hopefully really put forward a great collection of images. And I will say that the images that have gone out in previous Biennials they've been great. And I think particularly the last one we did, which for the black and white one, there were some beautiful images in amongst that, but the competition across the world through the whole FIAP community is so strong. But I know we've got the people that can do it, so I really look forward to hopefully getting a really, really strong entry together.
We have, in fact,
I agree with you, David. We have the talent in APS to make an absolutely strong showing, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've done awesome.
We did in fact place, so not the last black and white biennial, but the previous one we got a 6th placing. So it's had a FIAP blue ribbon for that place. So we've proven we can do it.
We can do it. We can.
Past, I think there was a year I think it was 2006, we actually won the Nature Biennial. So, we've got the people. They just need to participate.
Yes,
that's right. Yes.
I think one other thing, if I may, Bronwyn, just to highlight and correct my understanding if I've got some of the technical details wrong, but FIAP likes to receive and hold very high quality images in terms, and so I'm talking at a technical level here, not about the artistry and the technical and the artistic quality of the images, but the actual images that are asked for in the biennials are not your stock standard 1920 by 1080 images. They need to be able to be produced up to 6 megabytes and up to 3,600 pixels on the long edge, something like that. Very non-standard for international salons. High quality images, important for high quality prints, of course, but it does mean that those putting images forward need to be mindful of the fact that they will be asked to provide those presentation ready images at a higher resolution than would be normal, and that they will also be required very much in the nature section to provide raw files along with their JPEG images.
That's actually across all the biennials. The raw files now have to come in with your entries for every section, because nature, obviously there's the issue with the nature rules, but there's also the issue with AI creeping in across any section. So I think you can, I think I speak correctly here, Luis, that all the awarded photos and all the awarded sets will be asked for their raw files and checked. Would that be correct?
Yes. Like the World Cup of Clubs also. Last year it was in this way.
So if we're lucky enough to be in amongst those awarded results, you can we are going to have to send those files within a few days, and we're required to hold those files before we even submit the entry, so that if they're called upon, we can send them.
Understand.
So that's the new requirement under the new rules. I don't think I possibly didn't mention that one to you, David. But
no, you didn't. It's okay.
She kept that one to herself.
That's all right. I've only caught up with David today, so yes, it's a new set of rules, and that's one of the change. That's the main change, that you now must ask for the raw files at the same time as the entered files, such that you definitely have them physically in your hands. Because when there was a big problem with the previous Nature Biennial, with a lot of photos found to have been in breach of the nature rules. And when the raw files were called upon, there was an amazing number of people who couldn't come up with them, who couldn't produce them, who couldn't find them. They were on old drives. They were 10-year-old photos, and here they are with their grandchildren going through all their old computer drives trying to find the original file for the photos. So that you've either got to have the raw file, or you've got to have the original camera file if it was a JPEG file. And in that instance, you've got to have not only that photo, but the photo either side of it. So the sequence of 3, if you're producing them in anything other than raw format. But you must have those raw format files, otherwise we cannot enter a photo that photo is not physically in hand in its original camera format.
Wow.
So a bit to think of. But that's been driven by the big problems they had with the last Nature Biennial, and lots of countries got disqualified, and lots of images got disqualified. Some of them because they breached the rules. In fact, quite a lot because they breached the rules, and some because they couldn't produce the raw file to prove that their photo was okay. So, so yes, this has been the solution that they've found.
Yes, and just one more word on that. Not being able to produce the raw files isn't necessarily a result of having done something devious and being unwilling to produce. The fact is, if we have 14 days in which to produce a raw file, and I happen to be on a sojourn in Northern Europe and Iceland for 6 weeks away from my hard drives, with the best will in the world, I can't produce it. So we will be very, very grateful to have that collection of raw files from the outset when we're asked to produce, because it's very, very difficult. Many of our participants are of travelling age and tend to be out of country, and trying to produce that sort of thing at short notice, if you haven't thought about it from the outset, becomes cripplingly difficult.
And that is indeed exactly what happened with Australia's Nature. Our raw files were called upon, and FIAP wanted them within 10 days. And our Nature Biennial coordinator, I emailed him, and I got a reply that he was from, where was he? He was in Dubai, en route to Europe on a 3-week holiday, and he wasn't going to have access to his files until he got back. So, then I was calling for the raw files, and he had to send me lists from overseas to give me the people I needed to reach. And it was 3 days of solid work trying to gather these raw files. David, what I talked about with Paul is that possibly what we'll do is we'll put those raw files on the Google Drive.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
On our APS Google Drive, which means that either myself or yourself, in the case of the monochrome biennial, in the black and white biennial, or in the Nature Biennial, Paul and I, we can call upon Paul, and if he's not around, I have access to them as well on our Google Drive, and between us, we'll get those files where they need to go. So just something.
They'll obviously be destroyed or deleted after everything's put to bed.
Our Google Drive is all is secure anyhow. It's a login.
Yeah, but there's no need to keep them after the files have been accepted by FIAP.
We'll keep them for a period of time.
Yeah.
But Luis, can you clarify that, how long those files must be kept? For the nature, the raw files, how long do the raw files need to be kept by the country? For the Nature Biennial?
I doubt that we'd need to keep them, as long as they confirm that they've received them. I don't see why they would need to be held on. Yeah, sure, for a little while, but
yeah, it's the wording in the rules that's a bit.
Oh, okay. There are rules about how long you have to hold.
First, with the raw files in the new rules, at what point can we when can we cease?
How long does the country have to hold the raw files that they have sent to you?
No, you will ask for the raw files immediately after judging. So you will have 1 month. We need at least 1 month or 2 months maximum to publish the results, the final results. And in this case, all raw files have been checked before.
Yeah. But
so if we publish the results, it means that all the files were checked, yes.
Is there a requirement for the countries to hold on to those raw files for longer than that?
No.
No.
This is In the previous biennials, the results were published about 1 week, 10 days after judging, but now we cannot do this because we need time to check the images, to ask for the images, the raw files, and then to check them. So we need more time to publish the results after judging.
Yeah, it's getting tougher and tougher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because not everyone plays by the rules, unfortunately.
Yes.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions in the group? No? I think that's probably I think that's probably bringing us to the conclusion of our event. So for those of you still with us, I think a few may have slipped away as the evenings crept on. I know we had one person who couldn't actually join us because it was going to be too late for her. We had a very, very early start in the morning. But just to come full circle back, Luis, I want to again thank you for being with us this evening and for your time preparing the presentation you've given us tonight. I think it's been invaluable and has certainly sparked a good discussion from our two biennials coordinators, especially when it comes to what they need to do to produce what.
So thank you for this invitation, and also congratulations to all the distinction recipients. And it's nice to know that in Australia that you have 30 recipients this year. Is quite a high number for me.
Yeah, it's actually a low number for us. We've yeah, I think the most we ever had one year was 75, but usually it's in that 30 to 40 range. So yeah, it's quite a few people. Anyhow, thank you everyone for your time this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the event, and again, congratulations to everyone. I'm hoping we'll see you all again next year. There will be a presentation later in the year, probably around September, October, to talk about the new distinctions rules. As I've said in our newsletter, the reason I've held off doing that at this stage is because I myself am getting my head around those rules. I've already participated in the Zoom event that FIAP have held, but they're holding 2 more. They're fine-tuning the PowerPoint after each of those events, and they will make that PowerPoint available for the liaison officers. So I'll be using that in our presentation. And I also want to review the recordings of each of those events because different questions will have been asked in those events. So that will help ensure that when you hit me with a question, I will hopefully have the answer. So that's the goal, making sure that I can answer your questions, because otherwise it doesn't help everyone if I don't have a 100% handle on it myself. But thank you, everyone. And Per, did you wish to say goodnight as well?
Yes, thank you everybody for participating tonight. Thank you so much, Luis. It was wonderful to see you and to hear your wonderful presentation about coherency. It's such a very topical topic at the moment with portfolios coming out, biennials, portfolios, all manner of photographic collections. It's very topical at the moment, so it's a really insightful presentation. Thank you so much, Bronwyn, for putting all of this together, all of the work that you see Bronwyn does. Spends many hours toiling away, getting it perfect for you all. And thank you for coming along tonight and sharing your celebration with us and sharing a piece of yourselves. So thank you. And good night. And
thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all up one level next year. Woohoo!
Register and watch e-news, because there'll be lots of information coming out in e-news each edition. So little bits and pieces as I learn them will be in that. So just make sure you keep an ear on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Bronwyn.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Luis.
Bye-bye.
You look
Bye-bye.
after that voice, Dee.
Thank you, Pia.
Thanks, everyone. Good night, everybody. We'll
Good
say
night.
And
Good night.
bye, Luis.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.